already is.
Let's
I
go.
feel like I've never seen a baby more ready in my life. Okay, welcome to episode number 30. 30 already.
I
Shit,
know.
the bed. We got there, mate. And we are not in decline. We're growing. But welcome. Take a seat, you beautiful bastards. Sit down and relax, and we're gonna ruin you for a couple of hours. How have you been, Jimmy?
I'm good. I made a real drastic mistake before the show today, though, recording. I just sat down and had like a really, really big breakfast, and now I'm sleepy as hell, and I can't be asked to do anything. I'm just like, let's record a different day. I'm full of bacon and egg, and it's lazy Sunday time, man. But
yeah, well, it's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day. So, first of all, to all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day.
And second of all, to everyone who wants to put stuff on Facebook, stop making my Facebook feed a fucking shit show. We know how much you love your mothers. Stop with the corny shit, people.
If you haven't gone out, I'm saying this. If you haven't gone out and spoke to your mum, but this will go out on Monday. So if you're listening to this and you haven't spoken to your mum on Mother's Day, you definitely fucking should, right? I was going to say yes. I got up and I made a breakfast for Kaz. I wanted to say, to her, thank you for everything you do for me and the little one. On a personal level, you're brilliant. So thanks for that.
Yeah. So it's all going to be about Mother's Day. We're going to have loads of mother and Sunday subjects.
I was thinking about this, International Women's Day. I was thinking about that, and I was like, why do we need Women's Day? And then I was thinking, because we're a bunch of pricks, and we have done for the last 1,000 years.
I think
we've done nothing but treat women like shit until now. Obviously,
there's been groups that have had it slightly worse. Let's face it. I think we should abolish all "it's your day" days, and just stop with the entitled shit. I really do. I hate like I know I'm going to sound really cynical and everything, but I hate all days like this where it's like National Something Day. The only national day that we need is National Blowjob and Pint Day, National Steak Day, and National Xbox Day. Then I'm happy. And I don't get that though.
The perfect advert for International Women's Day. There you go.
No.
We were like, you know what? We're going to create a hall where we can sit and make the rules, and it's only men that's allowed to make the rules.
Oh, we can have a really long table, and only guys are allowed to sit at the heads of the table because of what it represents. We don't need Mothering Sunday. I think it's sexist.
Women, they can't. Do you know what? If this is if this is edited in the wrong way, you're gonna have me going, women cannot be educated. Women cannot be leaders or kings or queens. No, I think women deserve a day. I mean, come on. Do you know what? In fact, if women created the world as opposed to men, I think the world would be a lot prettier. I'm going to say that. Like, I don't.
Fuck off. If you've lived with a woman, that shit. It's not fucking. It's not cleaner. It's not tidier. It's fucking messy as shit. There'd be stuff everywhere. And it's just like, don't move it. I know where it is, but I fucking don't. That's the world we'd live in.
I remember I went swimming. I think it was in Telford.
Yeah.
I think it was in Telford. I went swimming, and I was in the changing rooms, and I bent down to kind of put my socks on and stuff, and I thought, "What's that on the floor? Is that a chicken wing?" And then it took me a couple of seconds to realise that's no fucking chicken wing. That's some dirty skank who's just whipped out. Yeah, it was horrible. Women, just as gross as men in some respects. Yeah.
There's our tribute. Women, just as gross as men. Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, but no, I'm glad that we got that out of the way. Now let's get on to man stuff.
Yeah. So last night, we've got a show over in the UK called Crufts. It's all about dogs and stuff. So, me and my girlfriend went out for the day. We travelled all the way to a place called Birmingham, a little bit by us, had all day there, came back, and we was like, let's go to the cinema, but there's nothing on. So we decided, let's do, do you remember Blockbusters? Do you remember that
Oh yeah.
Old amazing company who thought they were going to try and take down Netflix. Yeah, we know how that went. I saw a funny tweet the other day. Someone put out, it was just like, oh, the saddest tweet that you'll ever see. It was like one of Blockbuster's last ever tweets. It was just like, everyone use hashtag something Netflix. And it's like, tell us why you're leaving Netflix today. It's just like, oh, in hindsight, you probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway, we was like, there's nothing on at the cinema, so we decided, right, we'll get cinema back at home. And we went out and we bought loads of popcorn. We bought like ice and Coke and everything, and we sat down and we watched Batman Returns. That film, honest, like with Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, like I remember watching that thinking, God, this is cheesy as shit. It was awesome. Like new Batman,
Walken as well?
Yeah, new Batman films need that old Batman music in them. That's what they need. They need to stop taking themselves so seriously and get that old cheesy shit back going.
And I went to remember a while back. I went and I rewatched the 1989 Batman.
Yeah,
and they had Harvey Dent as a black guy. Is it Apollo Creed? Isn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Anyway. Was it Apollo Creed?
Yeah.
Was it Apollo Creed or was it Lando Calrissian? I don't know. That's really racist.
It was Creed, I think.
Anyway, I was like, fuck, they were doing the diversity thing back then. We're whinging now, but they were doing it back then. But yeah. So Crufts, how was that? Was it fun?
Yeah, it was okay. It was fun going around. I don't know how much we need to get into it here because it's very like it could open up a whole avenue that I don't have the energy getting into at the moment with like dog breeding and stuff. But no, it was good. It was good fun sort of going around. And
did it smell like dog shit?
I can't smell, can I? I've got no sense of smell. So
I forget this.
Yeah, there's a little bit of inside information for people. I've got no sense of smell. Got a big ass nose, but no sense of smell. And yeah, so I didn't get that, but no, it was all right just walking around and just they had a section called Discovered Dogs, which you just go around. It's just like every breed ever, just like in a row, almost like a zoo, but like you're going around just like petting all the dogs, jumping over people. That was good fun.
You couldn't go there with wearing many, black clothes and dog hair everywhere, I imagine. Do you know what? I've got written in front of me right here in a huge fucking... I was about to give Chris a shout for that as well. Let's get into Superhero Bar Fight from last week because we need to get out of the way. We are, of course, doing our new tournament called the Master Beta Trophy, where we take the top end of a hero and then partner them up with the bottom end of the same sort of category, I suppose you put them. And then we do a fight. Last week we did SpongeBob and Aquaman. No, SpongeBob and Aquaman versus Batman and Scooby. And then afterwards we did Superman and Duffman versus Thor and Pikachu.
So yeah, SpongeBob basically fucked up Scooby, and then Batman just didn't stand a chance. And then who else did we just do? Did you say
Superman, Duffman, Pikachu, and Thor?
Oh yeah. Molyneux played a good part in that, didn't he? While Pikachu beat the shit out of a Superman that couldn't move.
I've had some really good discussions about this, actually. Like, people have been randomly coming, like friends and stuff, not people off the streets. Fuck, that'd be weird. But people have been coming up to me and talking about what we've been talking about. And, we've had some really good discussions about it, especially about Pikachu being like a god of like lightning and Thor being Thor. And so I think we had, first of all, let's go to the first fight. Batman and Scooby lost to Aquaman and SpongeBob. SpongeBob beefed himself up into some sort of muscle sponge and beat Scooby to death with a spatula and then cooked him on the grill.
Yeah, he turned into Hulk Bob SquarePants, didn't he?
The polls completely disagreed with us. I got 47 for Batman and Scooby and 16 for Aquaman and SpongeBob.
So this is my hope for this entire tournament. I hope the polls reflect the polar opposite to what we do, because I'm just having a good laugh with this. Like, I don't give a shit. I just want to have the most comical situations play out, and whatever happens. I'm not thinking about it this time. It's just SpongeBob and Scooby-Doo patties is just, there was no other outcome to that.
And do you know what? I'm a huge Batman fan, so like to see Batman skewed up against the wall is quite hilarious for me. It's like I said, it's a polar opposite of what I would normally say. Then the next fight we had Superman and Duffman versus Thor and Pikachu. We had Duffman impaled by Mjolnir, and then Superman weighed down by Thor's hammer, whilst Pikachu tackled him in the face.
Repeatedly, over and over. We missed such a trick with that one, though. So we were out the other night just joking about it, like you say, when people were coming up to us and say, people who it just happen that we know in real life who happen to listen as well, sort of making comments, and we were chatting about it. It's such a trick of having Duffman throw a can of Duff and a Superman pop out, just like, Superman, I choose you. It's like, how did that not come to mind at the time?
I like the idea that Duffman got the first blow in, to be honest, though. Like, here, I choose you! And he hits Pikachu in the head and knocks him out. I thought that was quite funny. The polls were very close on that one. He chose Superman and Duffman, 19 just for Thor and Pikachu. So again, the polls didn't agree, but only just. There's only 4 in it. So that was quite a good one, I think, because, it makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was Superhero Bar Fight from last week. We're going to move on later. Who have we got later? We got...
Right, later on, we've got, so coming up straight after the show, round 3, we've got The Flash and Sonic taking on Spider-Man and the Tick. And then in round 4, we've got Iron Man, I can't wait for this one, Iron Man and Inspector Gadget going up against Doctor Strange and
Rick
Sanchez. I was trying to think of his name then. I was just like, Rick who? Rick Sanchez. Oh, I can't wait for that one. That's going to be brilliant.
Do you know? I've had to look this week about the Tick because I don't know much about the Tick. I chose him because he's a silly superhero. He reminds me a bit of Earthworm Jim. We could have chose Earthworm Jim, but I didn't want to choose him again. And so yeah, usually I go into these with a bit of knowledge, but with this one, with the Iron Man and Rick Sanchez thing, I just want to go into it completely blind and let's just have some fun with it. So yeah, wait till after the show, and we'll put that on for you.
For you.
We
will put that on for you. Sorry.
I wanted to quickly mention as well, if you're listening to this on YouTube and you're pissed off having your phone open all the time, I mean, still listen to YouTube if you got your laptop and whatever, because, we like and listen to wherever we get them. But we are now available pretty much everywhere. We're waiting on Spotify to get back to us. Once Spotify get back to us and we've been accepted for Spotify, there's no other player we can go on. We're on everything. We are on Google Play. We're on Stitcher. We're on Podcast Addict, iTunes, Castbox, and of course Podbean. So we are everywhere. But I didn't know this. To get on Google Play, I had to change a few things around. I had to kind of hide my IP address because you don't get Google Podcasts through Google Play in the UK. It's only in America at the moment. So
that's weird.
We'll kind of jump the gun on that one. I want to mention R. Gray as well. R. Gray for the show. He's always been a legend to us. He was doing a hell of a lot of networking for our show last night. I don't know if you saw this on the Facebook, Jimmy. All I got was R. Gray. I don't want to keep saying his name on. R. Gray has shared Thors-Kin. He's been basically sharing us out, trying to get us. We want to work with a few other shows and things. So he's been asking a few people about us and seeing if they'd be interested. I haven't got back. Yeah, none of them got back to us. But he's been working hard for us behind the scenes. So I want to say thank you to him. Quickly, I wanted to say thank you. Happy birthday to Sarah, our friend, close friend. It was her 30th the other day. We went to a party the other night. Happy birthday to her. And I want to say well done to the Saturday Hours show this weekend. I know I keep going about this, and it's another show I work on, and it's a bit shitty to James, but you know what? These guys work really hard. I record a 7-minute segment for a week, and
you can do a lot in 7 minutes, Al.
Twice. I like podcasting. I like broadcasting, so I try and find other projects to do. So I found the Saturday Hours. They're a great team. They moved to a radio station called Elastic FM, and everything that you could imagine going wrong has gone wrong. This is only a second week on the station. There was a problem with their Facebook. so they got kicked off Facebook for 3 days, so they couldn't do any social media on the run up to the first show. And then during the second show, music just started randomly playing while he was talking. It was all the wrong songs in the wrong order and all sorts of stuff. But you know what? He put on a great show, John J. Stevenson, and they got about 1,300 listeners to that show. So that was really good. Well done. And then lastly, I'm doing lots of shout-outs.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Fuck you. Chris Hoskins, thanks for Gate. He taught me how to not say I said about 18 times already, but I just want to say Chris Hoskins, thank you. And then on with the show.
Right, okay. So from here on in, we're limiting shout-outs to a 30-second segment.
Oh, no.
That's the new rule.
You can't do that. There was quite a bit to talk about. It was Mother's Day and shit, and you can't not say happy birthday to Sarah, and the Saturday hours that I'm really proud of, and people need to know where we need to listen to us, so, had to happen, I'm afraid.
So it's been like a really dry week, all the way leading up to a couple of days ago when shit just went mental. We've literally got such a packed show today of there's loads of gaming stuff. There's loads of other random bits going on in the background, like nerdy movie, all of that kind of stuff. So, what do you want to get into first?
I have no idea. Well, there's less kind of movie talk to go on about, so I think we should get that out the way first, because a lot of it is kind of speculation and things. And then what we can do is go into what we did at the weekend, the drinking and stuff like that, and then get on to the gaming stuff, because the gaming stuff's really juicy. I can't wait to talk about that. So
right, so let's kick it off in style first. So halfway through the week, I saw a picture, and he just, my eyes lit up. I thought, yes, of John Boyega basically mocked up as Blade. It's complete fan art, but it got us thinking. I sent it over to Al, trying to just be like, "Oh, have you seen the new stuff?" He's called me out straight away. That's fake as shit. It's just I thought I was going to fool him, because now and again he doesn't always do the logic, people. And I was thinking I might catch him in one of those rare instances where I could fool him, but no, got called out. But it got us thinking. And a little bit earlier, Al sends me this awesome little graphic of 6 different actors, all sort of, laid out next to each other, basically of who could be the next person to play Blade. Now, I know who I've got to pick out of this, but seeing as you've drafted it up, do you want to go through it, Al? Do you want to give us the rundown of who we've got? Who would be the next Blade for you?
I went originally to geek.media, and they got 10 actors, but they had Denzel Washington, who's too old. I'm sorry, I love Denzel, but he's too old. They had Common. I don't think he'd fit the role, and a couple of others I just didn't think were right. But I picked these 6. So you had Boris Kojo, who's done a lot of TV and things, and he's a sharp-looking guy, but I can't see him as Blade. But I picked him because out of all the 10, I thought this is the last sort of 6. We got Tyrese Gibson, who was in Fast and Furious movies. I quite like him. I think he'd be good, but he's a bit. I think behind the scenes, he's a bit of an idiot, isn't he?
Apparently, yeah. He's going a bit crazy lately.
Harold Perrineau, who we know from The Matrix. He was in Ours. He's been in loads of films. I can't remember what else. Was he in Constantine as well? So he was in something where he was an angel. And they got Lenny James from The Walking Dead, who I love. He's a great guy, a British guy. Who did he play in The Walking Dead? The guy with the stick. What's his name? Fuck. Oh, anyway. Research for the show. Yeah. Michael Ealy, he's been in loads of things. He's a good-looking chap. He kind of looks like Wesley Snipes as well. And then you got Michael J. White, who was Al Simmons in the Spawn movie. He was one of the gangsters in The Dark Knight. He's been in loads of films. And Michael J. White is my favorite for this. He looks the part. He's ripped. He's a martial arts expert. He's I think he's about 50 now. But
yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think he would be out of all of them, just because he looks probably the most of the part. But you know what? I would love to see a Blade film with him picking it up after years of him doing this, and he is run down to shit. He just can't be, like an old man Logan type character version of him, and seeing Lenny James play him. because that same character that you see in The Walking Dead, of when he's on the rooftop and he's going crazy and he's shooting down at Rick and Carl and he's got all those traps laid outside, like that version of him. I think he's made like I'm not all up to date with Walking Dead, but I think he's back in it, isn't he, or something like that. But yeah, that sort of slightly crazy character, I think he pulls off really well.
He was Morgan, wasn't he? Morgan.
Yes, yeah.
And I shouldn't forget that because I'm a big fan of the show. It was just, you got a mic in front of you and you're like, duh. Yeah. He'd be good. He's a really good actor. He's been in a few things as well. Tyrese Gibson is a bit of a clown until he sorts his attitude out. I don't think he should be given any big roles until he kind of grows up a bit. Yeah. Harold Perrineau doesn't look the part for me. You know what I mean? I liked him. I liked him in Ours. Ours I watched years ago. It was brilliant prison drama. He was a guy in a wheelchair in that, and of course he was in. Was it the second Matrix? He was in both, wasn't he?
I don't know. I can't remember back that far. I've got one bone to pick with you. Why isn't Martin Lawrence on this list?
Martin Lawrence, could you? Fucking Chris Rock.
I'd love to see just Chris Rock, just like instead of like going on about vampires, it's just literally his like really like semi-racist like comedy sketches just going on all the time throughout each stage. Just like that would be brilliant.
I don't just kill vampires, I kill white dudes too.
I'd love to see it. Do you know what? You got to be like, oh no, why are you saying shit like that? I would love to see a spoof version of Blade, something like that was just like overly racist and all that kind of stuff, just like him just go around killing white vampires only and stuff. Because a character like that, like you can pull it off, and it's like if it was tongue in cheek, obviously that would be brilliant.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't know. But the thing is, if have they tried? I'm pretty sure they've tried to make a Blade series before.
I don't know.
Or was that The Crow? I think it was The Crow.
Are you on about like a TV series?
Yeah, like sci-fi type cheap shit. I need to.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Netflix got their hands on it, and there's been lots of talks about new Netflix TV shows going on. I think that's where all this sort of chatter started coming from. Yeah, that would make an awesome show.
It'd be good, I think. Oh, and talking about Chris Rock, I went and watched the it's Marlon Wayans, by the way, not Damon, his brother. Woke Almost. I watched that last night because you told me to go and watch it.
Fantastic, right?
Jimmy said go and watch it. So yeah, I watched it. I was crying with laughter. He's so funny. I love that guy. I would definitely recommend you watch that. Watch it. It's on Netflix. Marlon Wayans. Woke Almost. That bit where he's like, when can a white guy say the N-word? And I was just like, no, I didn't go there. Yeah. Yeah, loads of white people in the audience just laughing nervously.
Yeah,
did it with good taste. You're right.
That's the thing with stuff like that. Like, it's a touchy subject, and I get why it is, of course. But like, if you discuss these things without walking on eggshells, and in those comedy environments, when you get people, like you said the other day, when you take it too far, and it's like every other joke, it's like pointing out a minority, then or majority, whatever it is, that isn't the one that you belong to, then you can start getting to the point where it's like, all right, this is getting a bit tired now. But with the Marlon Wayans thing, it's like he picked on everyone, and he did it in good taste, and then he brought it around and said something meaningful about it, which was like that. It just made it all sink into the point of like, that's why you're doing it. Like, and
he went on about the Kardashians as well. He was going on about he's like, I really respect that everybody's like, we're accepting of gay people, transgender people, and the Kardashians, blah blah blah. And he's like, I respect that the family accept Bruce as a woman now. He's like, but don't fucking tell me that that's a beautiful woman, because it ain't shit. He's like, I ain't seen a bitch that ugly since I made White Chicks. I was like, ah. Brilliant. I love it. What about this news that Kristen Wiig is going to play Cheetah in Wonder Woman 2?
Oh, fuck off. Just every scene is going to be like some really shitty, drawn out, improvised thing where they're like, you know how they go, like, she's always in those films where every scene you can tell it's like one of the 20 improv takes that they did, where the director just goes, oh, say some funny shit, you're funny, say some funny shit, and it's just like, okay, how many takes? And like, you know, at the end it's going to be all of the fucking outtakes of that same scene where it's just like, you look like a dog's vagina. Yeah.
And she does that awkward look to the camera and shakes her head. Like, she always seems to do that kind of...
Yeah, and it's just like...
Aren't I funny?
A bunch of like really crude, vulgar ones that don't quite hit the mark, and then one is slightly funny, so that's the one that goes in. I don't need an actor like that fucking playing comic
There's so many
stuff.
more women out there.
Can I just say, why the fuck are we getting a cheetah movie? Who gives a shit?
Cheetah is badass. If they went down that route, it'd be brilliant. I'm telling you, Cheetah's fucking. Just you wait.
Trust me, I will wait, and I will keep waiting, because if she gets the part, I'll have to keep fucking waiting for a great cheetah movie.
People said this about the Wonder Woman movie originally. Oh, they're making a Wonder Woman movie. It's going to be... The trailer came out and everybody was like, oh. You know?
Yeah, but that's because you got her playing it.
I don't know. People said this about Heath Ledger. You know, they said this about Ben Affleck.
Oh, yeah, because they weren't wrong about Ben Affleck.
No, but they were, because in The Dawn of Justice, he was a brilliant Batman. He was slaying motherfuckers. And people were like, oh, Batman doesn't kill. I was like, go back and watch the old movies. Yes, he fucking does. Batman's a ruthless motherfucker, and I think he did well. He didn't do so well in the Justice League. I'll definitely say that one. But in Batman vs. Superman, I thought he was brilliant. He proved people wrong. Like I said, we said this about Heath Ledger, and Heath Ledger proved us all wrong. I don't know. I'm not.
So do you know what I noticed last night watching Batman Returns? Was that, yes, the directing's cheesy and it was old, but Danny DeVito as Penguin was awesome.
Yeah,
like he is a character. Like I'd love to see a new Penguin.
I hope they did it proper, because I don't like the guy in Gotham. Like, for me, I'd like them to go down the whole short, fat English guy route like they did in the Arkham Knight series. I thought that was really good with the glass bottle in his face as the monocle. That's awesome. Yeah, this is going to be good. I think. I don't care. It's. I hope it's good, because Justice League was a letdown for me. I felt like such a dick coming out of Justice League and going, fuck you all, it was amazing. No. It's only when I went and looked at loads of different reviews and actually went over kind of what actually happened, and I realised actually no, it was quite bland. I haven't even wanted to watch Justice League again since the cinema, which is strange for me. Whereas episode 8 I can't wait to see again. You know? Yeah,
see, for me, like, they've got to go down the route of Dark Knight Batman, or they've got to go full on, let's embrace the golden period of comics and have the cheesy Batman music, the rubber suits, and all that kind of shit. I think, like, you can't straddle both, or it's a very difficult thing to get right, where you're trying to throw all of this, like, nerd culture homages to all of the stuff in the comic books, and get it right with the tone at the same time. It's a really difficult knife to not fall on the wrong side of. So, like, I've said
this so many times. I don't think you need to venture down the big screen for Batman. I think you need a TV series that is violent, funny, dark, and it also steals a lot from the animated series from when we were kids. If you had something like that rather than Gotham, which is cheesy as fuck. I've tried so many times to watch that shit. I can't do Fish Mooney. That fucking woman drives me crazy. She's such an over actress. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know how the fuck Will Smith puts up with that shit. I'm telling you. Anyway, let's move on. Gotham pisses me off on the whole so much. I had an argument with a good friend of mine. I've said this before, and he said, just think of it as its own show. Don't think of it as Batman. And that doesn't even work for me. So fuck Gotham in the ass. What about this Ghostbusters AR thing? Have you seen this?
Yes. It looks amazing. Like, if people were still playing Pokemon Go though, because I'd love to see, like, people go, like, meeting up, just the people who you think are still, like, trying to catch Pokemon, and they're walking around trying to, like, hunt down for ghosts. And then you've got all the other ones, because there's another one coming out as well, I think, that's like I can't even remember
Is that
what
Harry Potter?
Yes, I think it is. Yeah, where you've got to go round doing like AR stuff as well. Eventually, it's just because you know how much fucking Pokemon took off. Like, people were everywhere. Can you imagine if there was like 5 or 6 different games? Like, no one would be inside. They'd all be out just like waving their phones around like the parks.
I think they just didn't they do an expansion recently to Pokemon Go? I'm pretty sure they have.
Yeah, it kind of ruins it though. It's like,
I hope they learn from the mistakes from Pokemon Go, because it got so fucking stupid because it was just Zubats and fucking Drowsies and all the same shit all the time. Like, it would have been great if you could have done. And this is where I think Ghostbusters is going to come stay. I'll tell you. Here's my take on this Ghostbusters AR game. I am buying a Ghostbusters jumpsuit. I am buying a replica fucking proton pack, and I'm going around as a Ghostbuster, ghost hunting around town, motherfucker. That is what I'm doing.
I can't wait to see your mugshot on the news.
My wife's car kind of looks like an estate car. I'm painting that fucker white and red, I'm telling you. It's going to be Ecto 1. Oh,
I'd love to see like people build it, because you can get little Pokedexes that you can put your smartphone in, can't you? That you can get. I can't wait for someone to build like the first proton pack with a little slot to put your phone into, where you can see it, and you're there holding the gun up in the air, just like, don't cross the streams, don't cross the streams.
Oh, this is a big one. Nintendo are going to be like, we can, and everybody's like, no, fuck you, no thanks. We've seen what you can do, guys. Yeah, that's great. I love that. I'm glad that they're venturing down different routes with it, because I heard rumors about it a while ago, but I thought it was just a bit of hype. But watch this space, as I will say. We'll jump on that as soon as it's out. The other night, me and Jimmy were drunk. We went to a party and we started talking about the Star Wars theme park. How amazing does that look, by the way?
Oh, I can't wait for that. I really can't wait for that.
That's in America, though. Is it America?
I've got no idea where it is, when it's going to be open, anything like that. I just want to get in some, those old simulators that like you go into, and it's a roller coaster, and it's just like it moves you up and down, and it makes you feel like you're in it. Doing the Death Star scene.
Yeah, where it goes
in like an X-wing, or getting in the Millennium Falcon, or you've
seen the way those TIE fighters roll around. Could you imagine? Fuck,
that would be so amazing.
It would, wouldn't it? Or a pod racing thing. That'd be great.
Pod racing go-karts.
Yes. So like in the typical Alex and Jimmy fashion, we started taking things down a dark route. We were talking about the VR thing, and I was saying. Wouldn't it be great if they simulated everything in this park and you got to slaughter 20 kids with lightsabers? And then Jimmy was like, you'd have a guy coming out going, oh, that VR scene killing the kids was great, wasn't it? And then he'd have some guy going, VR? Fuck you.
That section isn't finished yet, bruv.
And he goes back, realizes he's actually slaughtered 20 kids. Oh, God. Yeah, that'd be great. No, it's some money grab, though, that's for sure.
Oh, I hate that phrase. Fuck that phrase up the ass. More than the fucking hashtag Me Too.
The biggest cow in the world right now.
It is.
Got a mouth around that teat, and they're
Why aren't people allowed to do these things? Because it's just cool.
It's Disney, though, isn't it? Come on. Like, this whole Jon Favreau live action TV series thing, I think it's going to be good. I don't know. Do we need a Star Wars live action series?
Hell yeah, we do.
I don't know, man. We're having Christmas every day. We're getting used to Star Wars. It is gonna get samey. It's just gonna turn people into maniacs.
So here's my take on that. Like, franchises die out over time, and we waited so long from the original trilogy with no actual content except a couple of games like The Old Republic. Okay, that's a complete lie, because there was loads of Star Wars games like Bounty Hunter, Jedi Academy, but like I guess the film side of things, we waited so long for what was deemed across all three, at least at the time, to be a real subpar trilogy with episode 1, 2, and 3. Without new content, there could be another like 20 years before anything else gets made. I don't want to wait that long. If we have to like get all the good content out the way now and people get sick of it, great. We've had a few good years of Star Wars before people are like, that's enough, fuck off. I don't care if they put out like 25 games and 25 films in the next 5 years. Like, just give it to me now.
And that was the response I wanted off you. Of course I want a Star Wars series. I just wanted the response I got off you. Yeah, I mean, I do want it, but I just don't want it to dry up. I think Andy Craig... No, was it Andy Craig? I know it was Ian, who's quite a good follower of the show. He put that, they're going to milk it dry. So let's hope they don't. I mean, John Favreau, though, he's got quite a good vision. He made a great film. Was it called Chef?
I don't know.
I think it's called Chef. There's a film on Netflix called Chef, and it's directed by John Favreau, starring him. He wrote the theme tune, sang the theme tune, and it was brilliant. It nearly made me cry. Like, oh shit! Speaking about crying to movies, have you seen Coco yet?
Really? Isn't that the new Disney film?
Oh my fucking god! I got this film and I put it on, and I was thinking, I don't really like the look of this movie. I've never cried so hard to a movie in my entire life. I think the last movie I cried to was Creed within the first 5 minutes. I'm telling you now, I was crying at the end of this film and I didn't give a fuck. It really, really hit me. Like, this kid, he just wants to play music, and he's in a family that hate music and they hate everything about music. And they're like, no, you're going to be a shoemaker like everyone in the family. They take guitar off him and stuff like that. And then there's one scene where his grandma smashes the guitar up. And I was like, oh, fucking stop. I was like, stop, this broke this kid's heart. Oh my God. And then it takes a weird twist. I don't want to ruin it, but it's, my God.
On a scale of High School Musical to the Mufasa scene, what is it?
There are two moments when it's very much Mufasa and Bambi's mom dying, I'm telling you.
Fuck Bambi's mom. I don't give a fuck about Bambi's mom.
The end destroyed me. I'm telling you now, like, the end, I want you to watch it with Gemma, and if Gemma doesn't cry, you owe me a fiver. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, she cries at everything.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. It's a bit weird, I'm not going to lie, but it's beautiful. You need to watch it. So, Coco. Watch the Coco. And
I forgot.
I was going to take the piss out of you, actually, about the video I put
on
Facebook.
Let's do. If people haven't seen this, you need to stop what you're doing, bring up our page and scroll down until you find it. So we went out to our mate's 30th birthday party, and everyone's doing karaoke, so we decided, right, let's do tribute. And towards the end, it's the Kyle shredding the guitar bit, and I was just doing some shredding, doing some air guitar shredding, and I might have leant on a chair, and the chair might have gone from underneath me. And it's the most hilarious 10 seconds of anything you'll see on in your life. Fucking brilliant. Just that moment of just my life flashing before my eyes, of me going flat on my ass. Just like, I wasn't even embarrassed. I was glad it got recorded. I was just like, this will bring joy to so many people.
The thing is, I got the whole song on my phone. I thought the whole song, it was good to see, but like, it was like 3 minutes long. So the bit that you see, I put up, you've got me waving the mic around like a big black dick, like an idiot, and then James is just gone. He's just gone. It was brilliant. And he got up as well afterwards, and he's like, I'm not even embarrassed. That was fucking awesome.
The thing is, cause I wasn't even drunk. That's the thing. Like, if I was like half drunk and I was trying to hide it, I was just like, no, it didn't go over. No, I didn't fall over. Then it would have been. But I think I just leant way too far back, and just the chair just went. What else we got though? We've got. Do you want to do some sciencey shit before we move on to gaming?
First of all, We can do. We can do because I'm quite concerned about this. Have you seen what? Did you see what? Do you know what I'm on about?
Yeah. The whole. Oh, I've got one other thing as well to bring into this. Remind me before if we move on to the gaming side. Remind me to say what was your other thing. You're on about the magnetic field stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, they found something underneath Africa that is apparently draining our magnetic field.
Would it be Wakanda?
It could be Wakanda, yeah. Could be a giant meteor. No, I don't know what it is. They don't know what it is either.
I reckon
mind-boggling new research, apparently, and
I reckon it's going to be the Alien versus Predator pyramid. And it's just activated. There's going to be this giant tunnel going down through the ice because apparently there's ice in Africa. And in there's going to be a pyramid that's just going to be activated because it's that time of year for the 3 new sort of junior predators to come down for the blood-in ceremony. They need to become true hunters, so they need to collect their alien skulls. And we all know that all centered around Earth because that was convenient. So I think that's what it is.
Well, apparently it's something that that does happen. It's a natural occurrence.
Yeah,
it happens every 780,000 years, or it happened about 780,000 years ago, and the magnetic field grew back. But now it's happening again, and people are like, "Oh shit!" Like because we need our magnetic field. To stop the rays from sun.
So with this, like I think people kind of think that it's going to be like this complete flip, and it's going to disappear. It happens all the time, and it's a gradual change. Basically, that will move, and then north becomes south, and the south becomes north. But it'll be a gradual thing. So yes, it will fuck things up, but it'll be over the course of time that as it actually starts changing, like everything that we've got that relies on it, it will happen over like thousands of years. It won't be a holy shit. We my sat nav's taking me the wrong way all of a sudden kind of thing. Like it's not gonna happen that way. I don't think. I think. Oh, go on.
I was just going to explain what it kind of is actually, because we're just talking about it, and there's probably people that don't even know what we're talking about. Let me explain. Okay, so our core magnetically charges the planet, and that magnetic charge it helps to deflect radiation from the sun. The stronger your core and the stronger your magnetic field, the longer your atmosphere can stay. The reason why Mars is the way it is because it had a small core, which the magnetic field wasn't very strong, was eventually wiped out by the sun, and that's why they have no atmosphere. If we don't have a magnetic field, our atmosphere will literally evaporate. It will be gone. So this is why it's obviously concerning, because it's something if our core stops generating a magnetic field, there's probably nothing we can do. Isn't that like the plot to Planet to Journey to the Center of the Earth? They want to recharge the core.
Yeah, basically for those principles. Yeah, the thing is, what happens like with Mars is generally because it's a smaller planet, it loses its heat, and then because there's less heat, there's not enough like stuff swirling around, which doesn't generate it. Like for that to happen, like our planet is still plenty hot enough. Like that magnetic field's not going to go anywhere for a long time. That flipping is just like, I guess, the patterns that happen internally with it. I guess it's nothing to be worried about. Do you know what? The person who has the biggest fucking umbrella stand when that shit goes is going to get some business, isn't
he? Yeah.
Fuck me. Invest in that. Fuck Bitcoin.
Sunscreen. Yeah. You expect like the geniuses of the world to be able to sort this out, but you can't look any further than Apple. I suppose they're the biggest geniuses in the world. Well, they would be if they weren't walking into fucking glass windows. They've got this brand new headquarters. Have you seen this thing? It looks like something out of Halo. It looks like they've got the Halo and lay it down flat on the ground. It's huge.
Yeah,
and it's a big round circular building, and it's like completely surrounded by glass. And people they're having to die. They've had so many 911 calls because people are walking into glass walls and knocking themselves clean out. These are geniuses that work at Apple. Not only did they design a glass fucking building that people are walking into, they're walking into glass walls. Can you imagine? You imagine the scene out of like that Google movie with Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn, where they're playing American football or something, and he gets some kid just running for the ball and splat against the wall. Oh God. But Elon Musk is that bitch. We know that. We always talk about it. And Airbus as well. I've just started following Airbus on Facebook, and their stuff's amazing.
Yeah.
I've messaged them, and I've asked if we can have someone come on the show, and they've told me to ring their base in Stevenage, I think it is. And
I bet you'll be like, "Fuck that bitch! That's a premium number."
I think it's a local number, so I think I'm going to give them a ring, see if I can get. I put a message on other podcast sites and stuff. I do want to get someone that knows what they're talking, a proper doctor of physics or something. You know, someone on
doctor of physics. Get Doctor Strange. I want Doctor Strange. I want Doctor Strange.
DeGrasse Tyson and Brian Cox aren't answering our emails. Just please come and talk science with us. So yeah. What was it you wanted to talk about?
Again, the source of all geek material, Joe Rogan. I was watching one of his podcasts the other day, and he was on about just revisiting the whole Boston Dynamics unpushable over dog robot and all that kind of stuff. Oh Jesus Christ, getting attacked by a dog here. And apparently they're developing this new AI robot called EATR, EATR, and apparently it eats biological material for fuel.
Are they trying to kill us? Are they like, what can we do to fuck up the planet even more? I know. Let's make man-eating dogs that are made of metal.
I don't know who's played Horizon Zero Dawn, but that is literally the way the world ends. Is they get robots, they've got AI, and they make them run off biological fuel. They self-replicate, they become known as the Swarm. Hashtag Gears should sue you. Well, actually, no, I think they came before. Anyway, the Swarm of robots. And basically they have to like put their like human genes into like this underground bunker and repopulate the planet once there's no life left. And that's why everyone comes out is like cavemen, basically, with metal weapons. That's the story behind Horizon Zero Dawn. Spoiler alert, sorry if you've not completed it. What the fuck? Why would you do that? Like, the only thing that is stopping machines not taking over everywhere and wiping us out is the fact that they need more metal to survive. Like, they could probably still do it, but now they can survive off biological fuel. Yeah, why make yourself the food source?
They turn around and be like, who holds all the metal? Humans. Who have we got to attack? Humans. Who gives us food? Humans. It's stupid, man. What the fuck? We're meant to be making AI to help us, not to attack us. Yeah. And as well, we've got a fucking food crisis at the moment. We need all the meat we fucking got, like, you know.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're going to be eating, it raised a good point, was this is going to be for, like, military use. They're going to be eating dead bodies off the battlefield. Like, sorry to take it there, but that's what it's going to be for.
No, Jonesy, no! No, get off him, get off him!
The fucking new Wolfenstein robot dogs just running around, just chomping on people like some fucking hungry hippo.
And then he goes, and then shits out a dog tag. or it opens up a tray, sting, like a vendor. Oh, that's awful. That is awful.
That's scary shit, though, right?
That's terrible. I hate that they do all this shit.
And they've oh god.
I was going to say they develop all this shit with war in mind. You know, there's so much more. There's so much more potential to us than war, and I hate it. This is what I'm saying. I think if women would have run the world, I don't think we'd be bitching about each other, but I don't think we'd be warring. We'd be like, oh, we're not talking to Pakistan for like, we're going to give them 12 months. We're just not talking to them.
But be like, we're sorry. The silent treatment.
Yeah. We're sorry. Yeah.
Oh, how to be pseudo-sexist all at the same time. Yeah, I just love the fact that they've called it the most sinister name ever. The EATR Project. It's like, really? Couldn't you call it like the Nom Nom Munch? Like, call it the tea time robot. Just eater.
The Big Mac.
Yeah, the Big Mac. How fucking dope would that be? Like, we've got this new robot called the Big Mac. It's like you expect him to come out in fucking Uncle Sam, like red, white, and blue top hat and shit like that with big eel. The Big Mac. It's just like, no, it's some sinister fucking black carbon fiber looking Wolfenstein.
You know, you've got Apocalypse Now, that dun da 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 when they're on the choppers. You've got the dogs walking on the field like Return of the Mac. Oh yeah,
dancing like the scene out of Baby Driver. Bullets flying everywhere.
Spinning pistols in the air, walking on their 2 feet. Oh god.
Oh, Mr. Trick there. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 from Guardians of the Galaxy. Anyway.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, write in if you know what that tune is.
Right, gaming shit, because stuff exploded last week. Real dry week, and then just news after news after news all on the same day. Let's hit State of Decay 2 first. Did you play the first one? I know what you're going to say to all of this. No, I didn't play it. No, I didn't play it. But until I can find someone who isn't quite so shit as a co-host, did you play State of Decay 1?
No.
No, I didn't play it. So State of Decay 1 was absolutely amazing. It's like it came out on 360. It was like a $14.99 arcade game. But you can get so much use out of this game. Like, you can get more use out of a genuinely low-budget arcade game than pretty much any AAA game out there. It's so good. It's got the jankiest engine ever, where it's like glitchy as fuck. But it's basically the Walking Dead simulator. It's got permadeath on all the characters, so like if you lose a character, that's it, they're dead forever. So you'll spend time building them up, and every now and again you will get into a sticky situation and you'll lose someone, but it won't be a case of you're not overly attached to them, but you are attached. And it's not a case of, right, someone's dead, hit pause, load back up the most recent save game. It doesn't put you in that situation. You genuinely sit there thinking, oh shit, Larry's fucking dead.
Larry!
Bollocks! Like, it's got this weird dynamic where it's like you don't get over attached to people because you don't let yourself, but you then don't get into that sort of like quick save mode of like, you know what, I can't be arsed doing all that again. Like, you want to go through and it's like, oh shit, I've not got a gun expert anymore. Like, who's going to be my long range person when I go out on looting runs? So you're like, right, I need to find someone who's maybe got a bit of like history as a soldier. So you'll go around, you'll call up to see if there's any survivors anywhere. It's all about the community, and you've got to like find places to live and build your pharmacies up, and like it's all about that community management. You can sink hours and hours into it. It's just the closest thing to a Walking Dead simulator you can play. And number two, it's running on Unreal Engine now, so it looks gorgeous. They got 4-player co-op, so you can go around with your friends, kind of going through all these situations, and it just looks amazing.
They did that with, I think didn't they start that with Rainbow Six, if I remember right? The older Rainbow Six games, you could hire people, add them to your team, and they'd have like stars on whether they were good at certain things. Or was that the conflict games? I'm pretty sure. I'm
not sure, but the principle is exactly that. Basically,
yeah.
You find survivors. They've got skills in different things. They're all randomly generated. IGN have got their IGN First going on at the moment, and they released 25 minutes of gameplay the other day. And it was just like it wasn't, because in 25 minutes you can't do the base building, you can't do the character attachment, you can't do any of that justice. So it was just like mid-side quest, going around gunning people down. They look like they've made the guns handle really, really well now. It looks amazing. It looks like there's loads of zombies.
Big white open world, you imagine?
Exactly, yeah. They've got, I think, 4 maps, each the same size as the first map in the first game. But this is going to be one that I know I keep pushing you towards, like Sea of Thieves, and I'm trying to convince you there. But this is one kind of game that you will be able to get into. Trust me. Like,
it sounds like my cup of tea. I mean, Fallout wasn't really. people tried to push me on Fallout because it's kind of that survivalist kind of mode as well. I don't know. It's different dynamic to the game, but if I can't see myself playing it, I just won't fucking play it. But this sounds like right up my fucking alley. So maybe.
Yeah. The thing with like something like Fallout, it's too like micro based. Like you go in Fallout, particularly number 4 now. You can go in, you can break down an alarm clock into 2 bits of plastic, 3 screws, and a battery. And you need to get down to that nitty gritty level of your inventory management. With this, it's just like bag of guns. Like you search an area and you click A, you've picked up a bag of guns. It's like a macro view. So like it makes it where instead of managing one character to like a really like nitpicky level, you're managing a whole community. So it means you can play it by yourself and enjoy it as like as a simulation game almost, or you can get a bunch of friends in and you can just go around. Almost with what I imagine the same pull that like your Destiny types have, or your Division, where you're going around with your friends every week, or putting your Friday nights to one side of after work. Oh, let's hop on that, and you're going around just like pushing your community along and stuff like that. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Reminds me of like, I know you've got this on the list, and it's a bit of a segue, but Far Cry. When you kind of liberate a town. That's right, isn't it? That you do
yeah. That's
you liberate a town, and then you can lose it. It can come back, and then you have to go back and get it again. It reminds me of that a bit. That looks brilliant as well, Far Cry.
Yeah, Far Cry 5 looks amazing. Like
it's beautiful. It looks beautiful. I like the fact it's in America. It's like redneck America. I like that.
Yeah, the villain as well. Like, I think Thors in number 3 was possibly the best, with the exception of maybe Atriox in Halo Wars 2. Not that you'd have played that, I don't think, yet. But Thors was like, he was just psychotic. Like he shut people up. Pagan Ming out of number 4 wasn't particularly great. This guy looks like he could take. Like, we should do a superhero bar fight of whatever this new guy's name is versus Thors.
Let's do it.
They look equally crazy. Have you seen the season pass, though? That's why I put it on the list for this week.
No, I haven't. Yeah, tell me about that.
Oh, my God. So, first off, the artwork looks amazing. Like, they've done a proper, like, pop culture-y, comic booky artwork for it, which is obviously, like, right up my street of, like, it just jumps out at you. They've got zombies, first of all. So, imagine whether they're going to do a new map or the same map with zombies. Yes, zombies is a milk thing, but Far Cry zombies will be amazing. Then they've got Vietnam, which I believe is a whole new map. So they're going back into like 80s Vietnam era of like possibly quite similar to what they did with Blood Dragon, but a little bit more actual Vietnam. And then
Blood Dragon was the shit. I fucking love Blood Dragon.
Right.
so good.
Not quite as futuristic, obviously, but I can trust the Far Cry team to do a good job of that. And the third one is set on Mars. Now, I thought, okay, that's going to be their Blood Dragon weapons version. Like, that's going to be super futuristic. Have you seen it? It looks...
No, not yet.
It looks like... Starship Troopers is all I'll say. It's Starship Troopers space. It's not like super futuristic, like flashy lights and all this. It's like grungy, big insects on Mars space. I can't wait for that. I really can't.
Well, I'm gutted that I've never went and played Mass Effect because I liked the idea of going to different planets and things like that. I thought it was really cool, but I just never got around to playing it. So, maybe I can do that with this one. I'm finding questions for Ask Jimmy. Don't worry, I'm not being rude. James is looking at me like, why are you fucking ignoring me? What about Black Ops 4? Do we give a shit about Black Ops 4?
I don't know. I don't know whether I should or not. Like, I know that you liked 3, but to me, number 3 was the biggest pile of shit ever.
I need to know more. Black Ops 3 was good because Advanced Warfare They had the exosuits, and they were too much, man. They were too much. You could jump so fucking high, and you'd just be like running around, and all of a sudden some twats land on top of you, and you're dead. Like, whereas like in Black Ops 3, it kind of give you a little bit of a, a little bit of a jump. I quite liked that. That was fine. I didn't mind that. But then with the Infinite War, they took it too far. All this running around in space, fucking jumping. It's just too much, man. I'd like them just to take a step back. Like, I don't mind the exosuits, but I don't want to see fucking luminous green fucking outfits and gun and all that shit that we had in Black Ops 3 was stupid. Like,
So
it's meant to be a war simulator. That's why I like World War II. There's lots of explosions and dirt and blood, and it feels like a war zone. Whereas that one didn't. Yeah.
So here's what they need to do with Black Ops 4. They need to take, first of all, they need to get this story back on track. If they're going to make 10 Black Ops games, which they've hit number 4, there's no reason why they wouldn't carry on with it, because it's Black Ops. It's the big sub franchise. There's probably going to be a 5 and 6 planned. Take the story back to, weirdly, old Vietnam, and ground it back down again. Like, have, back in that time, this super futuristic element where it was people going around with the beginnings of jumpsuits and all that shit, and have a portion of, like, what went down at that place that was kept off record where there was loads of bodies found. Like, have a story about, like, a part of, like, something that happened that doesn't want to be explained, that is like, oh, there's a big conspiracy, was there mass genocide here, blah, all that kind of stuff, and have it like, oh, they were working on some super futuristic shit but had to get shut down. Like, have that as the story, something like that. So they've got elements of the jumpsuits in there still, but they're grounding it a bit more, because you can let jumpsuits and futuristic space shit go too far, because they've got Ghosts, which I imagine they're never going to visit again. They've got Black Ops, they've got Infinite Warfare, and they've got Advanced Warfare. That's 4 futuristic sub-franchises that are all getting overridden by Black Ops's sort of prestige, forgive the pun, as a sub-franchise. Like, I don't know why they'd revisit Advanced, Infinite, or Ghosts again.
Yeah, I'd like them to maybe take it down maybe the Afghan war, possibly Iraq, something that's more urban and more down to earth and kind of more realistic. Yeah, add the exosuits and add some futuristic shit. That we've got stuff coming now that we're hearing about, these fucking eater dogs, for fuck's sake. There are future advances in warfare coming. Let's make it more realistic. I don't want to be doing like the same shit that they keep doing. What I don't want is for them to have built up their audience again, because a lot of people lost faith. World War II was great. Everyone jumped back on board. I don't want them to be like, okay, now let's go back to what we were doing before. Do you know what I mean? Learn your lesson. Give people what they want. Do people want another Black Ops? Maybe they couldn't help it. Maybe they started because I know they kind of stagger them, don't they? Maybe they started making Black Ops 4 like just after they started making World War II, and they didn't realize that's what people didn't want anymore. But we'll see. I suppose I'll probably end up buying it.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing, to be honest. Because the problem with like Advanced Warfare as the example, as the closest in the future out of all of them, that isn't. I mean, Black Ops has fucking time travel in it. That's ridiculous. So let's rein it back in. Let's go to just Advanced Warfare, where they've got in jetpacks and exosuits, and it's still set in like a completely unbuyable future, like version of the future. Whereas if you had a couple of those elements, and like you said, set it in like Iraq 10, 15 years time, where warfare has moved on, but the world hasn't, would create such like an people would relate to that so much, like they'd be able to buy into it.
Yeah,
but this is Activision's problem, is that they've created too many sub-franchises. There's too many different paths of like little worlds that exist in Call of Duty that, like, I'd love for them to come up with a new one that was exactly what we just described, but I couldn't buy into a new one because I don't know whether they're going to revisit it again, or whether they're just going to go Black Ops 5.
Like, what comes after Infinite Warfare? Like, what can you possibly create after Infinite Warfare? Just, it doesn't. They should have ended it with that and maybe create a new one. I don't know.
But yeah, they moved completely out of the way of fucking Red Dead. They're releasing in October this year because Red Dead's in November. It's just
That's
like
going to destroy
Call
everything.
of Duty is scared of another game's release date. That should speak volume of the weight that Rockstar has.
And this could be the last great game that Rockstar create if Donald Trump has his way.
Oh, I can't wait to hear the news that comes out of that. What was discussed. So, for the people to sit down with him, so, people might know already that Donald Trump, with off the back of all of this stuff, trying to find a scapegoat. Video games once again becomes in the firing line of, does it cause violence in people, despite the fact that, saw an interesting fact, the number of sort of firearms per person. No, it wasn't at all. It was the amount of money invested in video games between the USA and Japan was like $60 to the equivalent of $90, with Japan on top. Per however many million people, gun deaths per year, it was like 1,000 in the USA, 6 in Japan. It's just like, it should be the other way around if video games are the source of it. It's like, let's not even get into it because it's such a stupid and invalid argument.
We've done this as well.
Yeah, exactly. But so trying to find the scapegoat, sort of the elite of the gaming world are sitting down with Donald Trump. A couple of days ago now, I guess. Who does he pull in? Fucking Take-Two. If you don't know who they are, they own Rockstar. Rockstar make GTA. GTA is notoriously the most violent, open up for potential situations for violence in video games ever. Just like, who worse to represent that? But I was thinking it could flip that on its head if someone like Rockstar can present a good argument, because you know that they will want to present a fucking good argument. It is absolutely in their fucking.
How many times have they been picketed over the years? You know,
exactly. Like, you cannot pick on a more sort of prepared person for that. If someone who puts out a game like that can make that argument, then maybe it's the worst person, maybe it's the best person to represent. What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think this is going to go further, or do you think this is all sort of like political, like drama and fucking theatre, just to make it look like something's being done?
I think on a marketing scale, you know what? Like, as much as people hate Trump, he's done what he's done for business, and he's done a good job. Obviously, you know, I know he's lost money, but he's a really good businessman. He knows how to move, and he knows how to talk money and business. But he's still in his 60s talking about video games. He's out of his fucking element. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He can't do. I mean, I don't understand any other way that this guy can make sense out of the video game world, right? He can listen to all his experts if you want, but all his experts have been brought in by him. You know, they're all yes men. And I think it doesn't really matter what he says. If he says to people, right, now we need to have games that are all fluffy bunnies and ponies, people can be like, well, fuck you, Trump. Here's the guy. Here's just walking through an airport shooting innocent people. You know, modern warfare.
Yeah, I can't wait for someone to present the argument where it actually gets him to realise how many people the video game industry employs and how much money it generates. Like, fucking big games, they make like $500 million in profit, and all the thousands of jobs that just that studio could like actually hire. Get rid of like a huge portion of that, like, because you want to start dumbing things down and you want to like bottleneck the industry so it's sort of like choked off. The numbers alone are just going to be impacted. Like, that's a big enough argument for it. Just the economy side, let alone the fact that it's complete bullshit. But yeah, sort of you segue in again with Rockstar, because we've got to sort of jump through the subjects a bit. Is GTA 6 apparently maybe being set back in Vice City?
Fuck that.
Really?
I want to make something new. We've had Vice City, we've had Liberty City, we've had fucking, you know, San Andreas. I want them to let's do something new, maybe.
But do you not think that San Andreas to GTA 5, the jump in the world making that you can do, the world building around that, is a good parallel to what you could do between Vice City and GTA 6?
Take it out of America, man. Take it out of America. I mean, I know that's where the great fucking dream is, and everybody
Where
thinks
else you
of
gonna
it.
get those guns though from, Al?
Yeah. Don't do this, but set it in fucking Bogota or fucking Madrid, or there's huge fucking cities out there. Just
I
set it
can't
in
wait.
or set it as a super friendly version in fucking Toronto. I'm
It's
sorry, I'm sorry. Welcome to Canada.
It's set in Denmark, and you have to go through a real-time 3-week vetting process to figure out if you're mentally stable enough to actually acquire a firearm, and you've got to do all the paperwork in game.
Yeah, it's just full of bathhouses and saunas.
You got the sauna mini game where you have to go in there and like try and sit on as many people's open laps as possible.
I just want to see something original. That's all. I mean,
I think that you're kind of full of shit. They need to stay in the USA because the environments, and it just wouldn't be GTA outside of it. Like I don't get what they could do. Like certain places like Assassin's Creed and your Far Cries and stuff like that. Geographically, they lend themselves towards setting them in different places. GTA doesn't. I don't think. I think that needs to be in a city kind of environment. I think you could maybe get away with London, but not with the weapons. I think Miami's perfect for it, or Vice City.
Okay.
I'd love for them to go back in time as well and have that 80s theme to it again. That'd be so cool.
I get the reason why I'm like this is because
you're a cunt.
With the old GTA games, right? It became very samey to me. It doesn't matter where you are. You steal a car, you run around for a few seconds, you blow people up, you get chased by the police, and then you put it down and go to bed. You know what I mean? I want it to be something different. It's just going to be the same shit in a different city, and that's going to be really hard. I suppose I don't know what I'm talking. I like the idea of working airports. That would have been that sounded like a great idea.
Yeah, I reckon they could just do a lot with the story of having just like that pink neon everywhere, and having apparently there's going to be like a single lead female protagonist in it, or I don't know, I guess they're called protagonists in GTA, but they're kind of the villains at the same time. I think it'd be cool. I'd be up for that. I wouldn't know where else to suggest to set it. I wouldn't mind seeing Liberty City again, but like you said, we have done that in GTA 4. Like, I wouldn't want to go straight back to Liberty City. I want a bit of a break there. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I think for the gaming side of things. I mean,
I don't think we've got much else to talk about. I think we can move on to Dickhead of the Week because I've got a fucking juicy topic for that. Have you bought anything for Dickhead of the Week?
Little bits. Not anything massive. So I think I'll just pipe into your one because I know what that is. So absolutely, fire away.
First of all, right. Fuck you, Britain first, right? I think we can all soundly agree on fuck you, Britain first. And if you don't know what a Britain first is, Britain first were a movement in the UK that were against immigration. They're against. They hated Muslims. They hated what they stand for. And they generate hate. They create posts on Facebook. They have rallies through towns where they hold up white crosses through Muslim towns, and they're just trying to irritate people. A lot of the older generation have kind of jumped on board with that, and whenever you see the rallies, they're usually the group of guys in a county that have got like 3 teeth. They're over alcohol and usually unemployed fucking yobs. And you know what? If you're offended by this, you're a Britain First follower, and you're offended by this, and it annoys you, then you can kind of leave. To be honest, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Well, anyway, the leaders of Britain First, Jada Franson and Paul Golding, were arrested and imprisoned this week, and I couldn't be any more happier. And they were imprisoned because of the effect that they've had on the British environment and the racism and the upset that they've caused. And I was like, I thought it was just because of the rallies and I found out videos. Okay, so they were walking through towns holding white crosses, and they filmed arguments they were having with Muslims. And what they didn't show you was they would go around beforehand antagonizing them and winding them up first, and they wouldn't show you that. They'd just show you the argument afterwards.
Yep, the concept of perception.
That's it, yeah. And there was footage of Jada walking into a halal butcher, screaming and shouting about calling them barbarians and devils, and how they're all going to burn in hell for the inhumane ways that they're butchering animals. And yeah, it was pretty fucking horrible. Can you imagine being stood there with your kid or something in the butcher waiting to get the meal, and having some horrible woman screaming and shouting? She was in Telford not long ago. I think it was something to do with a mobile phone store that was overcharging for something or ripped someone off, which could be, it doesn't matter if they're Muslim or if they're white, anyone can do that. So it's just the fact that they were a Muslim doing that they went out there and sort of started causing shit, handing out leaflets and picketing. They go around following Muslim people and making their lives hell. And I fucking hate that. And if you ever go onto a Britain First Facebook page, in fact, fucking do it. If you're in America right now, type in on Facebook, Britain First, click on it and look at the hate on their threads, okay, against Muslim people, against immigrants, things like that. It's disgusting. Like, not everyone, in fact, the majority of people aren't against Muslims, aren't against immigrants and against, aliens, as they call them, We're welcoming people. I don't give a fuck where you're from, My main rule in life is don't be an asshole, That is genuinely I try and be nice to people. I'm as upbeat as I can be, and I'm a friendly guy. And I think if more people were like me, the world would be a better place. I'm just saying, like, there's no room for people like this in the world anymore. And I think Trump has kind of helped generate a lot of that as well, And he actually got in trouble a while ago for sharing a Britain First tweet, I think, if you remember rightly.
Yeah.
So the fact.
Oh, go on.
Sorry.
Go on.
No, go on.
So with stuff like that, like, there's a fine line that can be walked with. Like, I could pick out half a dozen aspects as to what Britain First push, and change the argument slightly, present it in a more reasonable way, and it would be true. There are terrible things that can be involved with immigration. It's like with, for example, like the difference between a democracy and a communism is a democracy strives to be better. It strives to give people choice. It gives people freedom. You present, therefore, the situation in which you can allow for great goodness, but you can also allow people to be the worst that they could possibly be, because you give them the freedom to be so. So there, by sort of a completely open door immigration sort of policy, there you're gonna have bad eggs in the group. Of course you are. So the idea of, shut everything off, or we don't, that one person that's gonna come over here with ill intent, or come over here and start spreading hate to then generate 10 other people that want to do that and want to take a minibus and plough it down a bridge in London. Yeah, that's a valid argument, but you don't. There's better ways to do that and to get that argument across. Like you said, it's the effect on culture, like long term. That's the problem with that. Is the fact that hate doesn't fix hate. Like you can't.
It doesn't. No, you're right.
It just makes the situation worse. And like, I don't want to, like, with me sort of like playing devil's advocate here, I don't want to sort of like put myself like within that group at all. But there are plenty of things that I would agree with, but just in a completely different way of putting it across.
Exactly.
Like, you've got to allow people to, like, using that democracy example again there, if you don't give people a situation to be good, then they can't be good. Unfortunately, what you've got to do is understand that within that situation, that you also allow people to be bad. And if you strive for 100% fix left or right, and you don't accept the fact that there's going to be that 10% or less, very much less, that are going to abuse it, and you can't live with that and can't figure out a way of effectively managing that, you're missing the point. You're missing the point of what it means to actually be a decent person.
I think we worked out, didn't we, that there's like 3.5 billion Muslims on the planet. If they were all bad, we'd be fucked. You know, like you
Exactly.
said, it's a minority thing. And yeah, we don't like Islamic extremists. We don't. I don't like white extremists either. Like these people.
That,
You know.
that's a point that I was thinking that I'm glad you just sort of brought me back round to there, is that there is no difference between a bunch of people. Like, here's the thing. I know which prejudicely, which I would be more sort of concerned about if it was outside my door, a bunch of people with skinheads with white crosses walking through that I think they're just saying their piece and then they'll move along. I'd probably be a little bit more shit scared if it was a bunch of Muslims walking through shouting Islamic hate preach. But that's because of prejudices of what we look at on the news. There's no fucking difference.
No, there isn't. No.
So they should have been fucking locked up a long time ago, the same way as Muslim hate preachers are. There is no fucking difference between the two, like, regardless of what group that you're representing. So, yeah, good dickhead of the week. Fucking good riddance.
They've only got like 30 weeks or something stupid. It's nothing. They'll be out. I've already seen crowdfunding pages for Jaden to try and get her something to live off when she gets out, you know, or to pay her fucking.
The thing is, like, it's the world we live in. I don't want to go like too deep into it because this could be like its own fucking week go, and in and of itself could generate like a subclimate of people finding you, and if their points of views agree with you, they stick around, and that alone creates its own fucking group culture. But not addressing these things long term is as bad as addressing them, but just not in that way.
Good. Well said. Well said. Okay. On something more fun now. Ask Jimmy. Ask Jimmy.
Right, what you got for me?
Agree. Okay, I'm going to do two because we're slim pickings this week. Why do you call it your bottom when it's really in the middle of your body?
Because when you're sitting down, it's at the bottom. That's why.
That's a very well-informed answer.
Exactly. Fucking logic, bitch.
If practice makes perfect and nobody's perfect, then why practice? Because you're all fucking shit.
I love how even if I can answer one of them, I can never answer both of them. I don't know.
And last one, I'd said two, but I'm going to do three because you give me shit answers. Why is a boxing ring square? Why is it called a ring?
Oh, how would you do a boxing ring that was circular though?
It'd be so much more fun. He's in the court. He's in the. He's not.
He's up against the no. The ropes are on the floor.
Oh God. Okay. No.
Because it's boxing and it's the box that's the ring. The ring that's a box. So
yeah, but what kind of moron looked at it and thought, that square thing we're fighting in, I'm going to call it a ring. I say it in a Cockney accent because it's kind of, I reckon that is a Cockney. He's got to be a Cockney guy. It's a fucking ring, mate.
It's a fucking ring. Get
it's
out
not
of
square.
My fucking ring.
You fucking what, mate? It ain't no square. It's ring. It's a ring. I'll bum you in the ring. Anyway, okay, that's Jimmy. Not brilliant this week.
And why do we have to end on a comment like that?
Because it's Thors-Kin, motherfucker. That's why.
See you next week. Gonna bum you in the ring.
Stay tuned for Superhero Bar Fight coming right up after this. Thanks, guys.
See you in a bit, guys. Thanks for joining
Peace
us.
out, bitches!
Bye. Welcome back to another week of Superhero Bar Fight, people. So we've got round 3 of our Master Beta tournament. Al, can you please stop doing clit-licking motions through the camera? I'm trying to concentrate here. I'm trying to be professional.
I was thinking of Aunt May. Sorry.
Wow. Anyway, we've got this week we've got Flash and I can't even concentrate. That is the way to do it. Flash and Sonic going up against Spider-Man and the Tick this week. So last week we had rounds 1 and 2. So make sure you go and watch Batman and Scooby go against Aquaman and SpongeBob. And round 2 we had, Christ, who did we have? We had Superman and Duffman versus Thor and Pikachu. So make sure you go back and watch that. But Flash and Sonic against Spider-Man and the Tick, it kind of sounds like it might be a bit one-sided. But I'm excited
It
to
does
see
in
where
hindsight.
this goes.
It does in one respect. I think, okay, like Sonic is cool and everything, but are we going to give him lives? That's what I'm going to say. Are we going to?
I reckon he definitely needs his health as rings that he can lose.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That actually sounded like
Chewy.
less the noise of when he loses his rings and more, when you go in through the zones to the bonus levels. Goes,
yeah. Oh god. Okay, set the scene, Jimmy.
Right. So
they're in a bar. No, I'm joking.
No. So Sega decided they're going to get back into making games, and Sonic's like, I've been in so many shit Sonic games that he breaks out of like some Japanese guy's computer and becomes part of reality because
Wreck-It Ralph style. I like it.
Wreck-It Ralph style. So obviously we know that Flash, Spider-Man, and the Tick are already real life characters. So all we needed was Sonic for joining them in the real world. What sort of environment are they in?
They're in a library.
They're in a library. Fuck would they be in a library?
I don't know, but fuck it, why not? They're in a library.
Okay, so in a library, and Sonic is looking. What the fuck? Sonic's looking up some books of how to make fucking decent side scroller games that don't get made anymore. Sega. And Flash comes in because obviously every year they meet up for their annual Speed Fest meeting, and it's the Speed Expo locally. So
I was going to say Flash is in there reading, but it doesn't take him that long. He reads the whole library in about 30 seconds.
I reckon we should just skip past it. This ain't working, mate. I'm just going to put it out there. We could put them in a dark room and it would make more sense right now. Anyway, fuck it. They're in a library, and of course they're in a library because Peter Parker's a fucking nerd and he's doing his little reading stuff. Little reading stuff, because that's what it's called. That's the actual adjective there. Little reading stuff. And he's chilling out with the Tick because they like to hang out together, apparently.
He sees a blue hedgehog and he walks up to go, "Oh, hi, cute fella." He goes to pat his head, and because Sonic he just can't be touched, because that's what happens. And he jumps back, all rings come flying out of him. So Peter Parker's like, "What the fuck?" So he runs to the toilet and he comes out as Spider-Man, and then the Tick comes jumping through the window because he's had his talk with Destiny and he knows he's about to fight a speedster and a blue hedgehog. I'm going to struggle with this one. I really am. I personally believe that Flash could destroy all of them in one move. Like Spider-Man, I feel sorry for Spider-Man against the Flash.
No.
What?
That's not going to happen. I reckon the Tick is going to know everything before it happens, because he comes in, he knows how this whole thing's going to play out.
So the Tick's got superhuman strength.
Yeah,
he's got high invulnerability. He speaks to Destiny, and he's very agile. He can jump around, and he has the what was it, drama mode or something? He's got drama mode.
Drama mode.
So the higher the intensity, the more strong his powers are.
I reckon his drama mode should be flipped a little bit, though. That the higher the intensity of the battle, the more drama mode he gets.
I think we should have Sonic doing he's charging up his spin.
Is he going to risk that, seeing as he's got no coins left all of a sudden, or is he going to be like...
No, he's collected them up.
He's collected a few coins.
We're not going to give him that much of a fucking handicap. But yeah, he's spinning up, he's charging up his spin, and he's about to twat Spider-Man, and he's aiming for Spider-Man. He goes towards him, and the Kick jumps in front of him and just boots him out the fucking window. He's gone. It's gone.
Straight through a giant ring, goes into a bonus level.
That's it. Yeah, he's gone. Flash he's dancing. He's moving around. He's not being able to touch Flash. Oh yeah, fuck's sake. Help me out, Jimmy.
So I
I'm struggling for words.
So I reckon Flash during this whole time he knows what's going on, but he's just trying to catch up on the week. So he's still like reading like books.
Reader's Digest.
Yeah, he's reading Reader's Digest. He's catching up from 1967 all the way up to 2018, and he's going from one book to another. But because Tick knows what's going on, he's going to stand in the way and basically just hold his hand out and just completely clothesline Flash. And just take him out. Like
he falls to the floor, and then Spider-Man stands over his face. He's like, spiderweb in his face. Thwap, you know.
No, so I think what's actually going to happen here. So let's rewind all that, almost like we're going too fast in time. He can actually rewind it all. So Flash he's way too quick for either of these. So he's going to have a bit of fun here. He knows that the Tick can see destiny in it. He knows that fucking Spidey's got Spidey senses. So he's going to take the piss, and he's going to basically get both of them, like, whirlwind around them, take them off their feet, and just fucking tie them up to the roof, Predator style, something fucking crazy like that, and just completely take the piss out of them. I think he's gonna cut off Tick's tentacles, and then in an instant they're gonna be hanging from Spider-Man's nose like a bunch of testicles, and the Tick's gonna be like, "Fuck no tentacle, no tentacles. I've got no powers. Oh my god, what are we gonna do?" He's confused. He's discombobulated, as I'd say. I'm struggling with this one. I reckon Sonic needs to make a comeback because. The way that I've got this ending is in a very specific way, and I refuse to let any sort of logic of who's better get in the way of this. So Sonic's going to come back. So I think let's take the Flash out of it. Let's actually have the Flash get clotheslined. Let's go with that reality. And he's going so fast that he basically gets his head chopped off. Like proper... What? Yeah, he's going that fast. Flash gets his head chopped off, so he's dead, at least for this round. Sonic comes back through. He's collected his little orbs going around that planet, hitting the wrong ones where he bounces, going doing, doing, and actually manages to get his fucking Chaos Emerald. Comes through and thinks, "Oh shit, Flash has been taken out," and he's got to take out fucking the Tick and Spidey by himself. So he runs off. And Spider-Man and the Tick are chasing down after him. Turns out that he was running away towards the end of the level. And you know at the end of Sonic levels where you've got that little machine that you jump on top of to save the little bunnies?
Yeah.
Well, Sonic's kind of had one of those prepared this entire time. And the Tick's over arrogance. He thinks he knows how this is all going to end because he's seen it before. Spider-Man's in full-on Spider-Man fucking cocky mode, but Sonic's got a couple of rings left, so he does this little spin attack, takes them off their feet, both of them, drags them up. At this point, forget the abilities, this is like a scene out of fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Drags them by their feet. Fucking ever seen American History X where he get that fucking curb scene? Yeah. Fucking Spider-Man takes his mask off, opens up the door to this machine, puts his jaw on top of, like, inside the doors. All the rabbits are escaping. Yeah. Tick the same thing, and he jumps up, hits the button on top, and the door goes in reverse and straight in half. Okay, that sounds great and all, but how the fuck is Spider-Man and the Tick gonna fucking decapitate the Flash? That bit just doesn't make sense to me. Even in a world where we're not making sense. Okay, I'll give you this if you can explain to me how he loses his head. Right, so Flash was running around trying to read up on Reader's Digest, so much so that he didn't actually realise that there was a fight going on, and Tick has kind of got invulnerability to everything except Sonic the Hedgehog devices, and yeah, so his clothesline, there's only one thing that can happen. You're going too fast, mate. You're going to get Sonic your head taken off. Takes on Spider-Man and the Tick single-handedly. Sonic the Hedgehog does take on the Tick and Spider-Man single-handedly.
I thought you were going to he gets his diamonds, Sonic, and just spins through him. One point! And they're gone.
Or so we can go with the alternate ending. So if how it should have ended actually got their hands on this episode, they walk into a library and Flash whizzes around everyone and fucking unravels their skin like the Mummy, because he's just that fast. And there's just fucking Spider-Man and the Tick lying there with just their muscle showing. And it's that quick, and it's horrendous to watch.
I like the idea of the Flash circling around Spider-Man with a piece of paper and paper cutting him all the way around. And he, like, you know, the end of Spider-Man 1 where he's got all the cut, his suit's all cut open and his face is showing. I think it looks like that, but it's all paper cuts through his suit. I think this. We underestimated the Tick because I didn't really know much about the Tick, and I thought I'd throw him into this. He's actually quite powerful. It would be a lot more of a fight. I don't think Sonic would stand a chance. I mean, I like the idea of Sonic dragging him through to the next round. I like the idea of that, so I'll give you that one. Okay.
Okay.
But I am not having the Flash being decapitated. I think maybe we can have him knocked out. Okay, I'm overruling you on that one. He's just sat there like, what the fuck are you doing, fat cunt? Why are you doing that to me? I got a bit of a romance for the Flash.
So we're having Flash paper cutting Spider-Man into sort of like
oblivion.
Like one of those spiral cut potato wedges things that you can get the devices.
We can have Flash concentrating on Spider-Man, the Tick chasing Sonic, and then he gets jawed on the fucking curb by Sonic, whilst the Flash is paper cut Spider-Man to death because he's too quick for him to get a web on. I think maybe Spider-Man will try and create a web around the library, try and catch Flash, but
to get a web on. Is that the new euphemism?
Yeah, get a web on.
Get your web on. So all I need to do now is edit this in the right order of what we actually want it to take place in, and we've got an episode of Superhero Bar Fight. Flash and Sonic win, bitches. On to the next one. Let's go.
Peace out.
Welcome back again to another episode of Superhero Bar Fight. We've got the final round of our Master Beta tournament where we've got one high-powered superhero with the worst representative of his category ever. So this week we've got Iron Man and Inspector Gadget going up against Doctor Strange and Rick Sanchez. We've got sort of Mr. Robot versus the crazy fucking time-bending fucked up version of comic books and geek culture. I've got a feeling I know how this one's going to end as well, just like last episode, but let's go through the motions.
Okay, so Doctor Strange straight away is going to turn up, okay? He's going to turn up and he's going to bump into Iron Man who's pissed off because, I don't know, maybe he's fucked his mom or something. I don't know. He's pissed off. And Iron Man's like, I'm so pissed off. The Avengers are all off fucking sight. And all I've got is go gadget fucking boots next to me. And Doctor Strange is like, I can't even find Rick. I don't know where he is. And they're like, let's fucking do this. So he takes him to like, where's that bit? Is it the Phantom, like the Phantom Zone, where it's all fucking universe and shit around, and they're on like a planet where it's like fucking cosmic shit all around them. So they're literally in the middle of nowhere, right, on this planet. And I'm gonna have this as Doctor Strange taking them on both of them. Okay. You've got Inspector Gadget, go, Gadget hat! And he turns it into a helicopter or something, and he's flying around trying to fucking invade Doctor Strange.
But he's not doing anything. He's just around the peripheral of the battle, just like trying to actually get his gadgets to work. So fucking helicopter gadget hats just fucking flying off around the edge for a bit, just trying to get it actually to go in towards the arena.
And then you got Doctor Strange with his fucking whips and shit that he uses, his magic whips, and he's trying to hit Iron Man. Iron Man's shooting fuck out with his fucking plasma ray. Bam, bam, bam. It's back into.
I'd love to see that actual scene going like slightly out of comic character for a moment, but to see the repulsor blasts going towards Doctor Strange and have voids to different dimensions like opening up, so it's like the little like Catherine
running along the side of buildings,
like the Catherine wheel vortex things going up, so each blast is going through a different one, and in one it's going through to fucking Smurf land, and fucking a big repulsor blast hits fucking Papa Smurf in the face. Another one opens up and a repulsor blast goes through there, and fucking Master Chief is fighting the Arbiter and a fucking repulsor blast goes past. And then in another one, fucking Rick Sanchez is on there jacking off on his toilet and a repulsor blast goes through and breaks his fucking bathroom mirror. And he's like, what the fuck?
No, I'm not bringing him into this yet, right? This is I know how this is going to end. You know how you kind of visualize these things? I know how this is going to end, all right? So this is great what you've got going on. So they're going from place to place. Doctor Strange is taking. They're running upside of buildings. Iron Man flying, shooting him. Inspector Gadget. I think we can have his gadgets going wrong, doesn't he? Because he's always like, "Go, go, Gadget coat," and then something wrong would happen. He'd go for a helicopter whilst they're running up the side of a building, and it's kind of turning vertical. He'd say, "Go, go, Gadget hat," and he'd turn into a fucking rubber boat dinghy and just float away,
skidding past. It's just like the camera's facing one direction and a fixed camera, and they're there. Doctor Strange and Iron Man fighting, doing all this cool choreographing, and in the background you just see this really slow moving boat slide past with Go Go Gadget in it.
I need to fix my fucking suit. And then I think we're gonna have this fight where like Doctor Strange's all bloodied and bruised. He's trying to run away from Iron Man. He's catching him up, shooting him with his plasma rays. He's trying to fucking throw shit behind him to slow him down. And it gets to a point where they're cornered into a square room, and then just as Doctor Strange is about to give up, he can't run anymore. This portal opens up. A neutrino bomb comes flying through. Rick Sanchez pulls Doctor Strange through the portal, and the portal closes with Iron Man trapped in a box with a neutrino bomb about to go off. Boom! That's it. Like, so Rick Sanchez doesn't even turn up. He just throws a neutrino bomb through a portal, pulls Doctor Strange through, and closes it, leaving Iron Man trapped in a box.
So, I reckon that can happen. But here's the thing: in the after-credit scene, what you find is in Rick Sanchez's bathroom. That's where he sort of like the repulsor blast came through, blew up his fucking medicab,
jacking off.
Yeah, it's just like you see them like Doctor Strange and Rick Sanchez walk downstairs for some bacon and eggs because they're hungry after a hard day's battling, and all you see is Inspector Gadget sit up out of the bathtub, look around, and just be like, "What?" And then that's it. That's the end of credits.
Great, I love it. I think Rick Sanchez, as much of a blithering idiot he appears to be, he's just so superior to most fucking people. Like, he's got a portal gun. He can just send them to space for them to explode. You know what I mean? He's crazy overpowered. But yeah, brilliant. I love that. Fantastic. Fuck you, Inspector Gadget. I like the idea that he's killed himself. No one's bothered killing him.
Yeah, it's like no one even paid attention to him. And he's still alive. He's just not a threat.
He's just in a fucking phantom zone type place where you'll never see anyone ever again. He's just a boat sat on a fucking lake or something with no one to talk to for eternity.
Go Gadget paddle. Fucking grenade goes off in the boat.
I love it. Brilliant. Iron Man would do good, I think, against Doctor Strange, don't you think?
I think he would. I think you'd have him definitely on the edge, but I wouldn't want to go against Doctor Strange for shit. Like, you'd end up in a portal to nowhere.
I think they're very similar, Doctor Strange and Rick Sanchez. He could send them to fucking Jupiter where there's no oxygen, and then he's got to try and get back from Jupiter to Earth on time before his oxygen and battery or whatever runs out. That'd be quite cool. Yeah, that's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, cool. So Doctor Strange and Rick Sanchez going through to the next round. So next week we're going to have our semi-finals, and then the week after that we're going to have whoever gets through there go off to finish off the last week of the month, going up against each other to win the Masturbator Trophy. I still love that name. So yeah, make sure you tune in next week, guys, both to the podcast and to the individual episodes of Superhero Bar Fight. And until next week,
I'll get a poll up. Yep, brilliant, nice one.
See you next week, guys.
Peace up.
Peace.